Chapter 4, Hole in the Woods. Riley St. James. I was recently appointed to detective on a cold case team, along with a dozen other officers from around the state. We have over 1,600 cases in our statewide database, dating back to the early 1800s, if you can believe that. The 20-year-old Laramie case hit the top of the list. An egregious rape and murder. A teenager in a small town, bludgeoned and left for dead in the woods. It was mine to have. Sarge insisted I was perfectly matched for this challenge. Fresh eyes, a woman's intuition. It would require every ounce of finesse I had learned in my forensic statement analysis training. In other words, I know how to talk to people without pissing them off. I know how to get them to confess. I know what to look for. I know how to listen and read between the lines. Sarge never brought up my own history with rape and assault. That was 18 years of water under the bridge and a year in therapy 10 years ago. You man up, you move on whether you're ready or not, and you always tell them you're ready. No pussies here. Patrol policing, which I've been doing for the past 10 years, doesn't really put you in touch with too many rape cases. I've managed to pawn off most of my sexual assault cases to co-workers. Have a car fatality, suicide, I'm on it. Just don't send me to a weeping, shaking girl whose sparkling brown eyes have been exchanged for a hollow black stare. I pack up my belongings and sublet my downtown apartment to a co-worker's daughter and her boyfriend. Cold cases can take a long time. Our strategy as a cold case and team was to embed in the area where the crime occurred and live among the community. You gotta earn trust, ears to the ground, break the codes of silence. People always know more than they let on. People talk to each other, not to the police. Eventually, you'll crack it. You just have to be in the right place at the right time. And you can't do that from a high-rise in Detroit looking at your computer screen and combing through stacks of decades-old chicken scratch case reports. I have never been to Derby in my life, never even heard of it, and I've lived in Michigan since I was born. Derby lies a 6-hour drive north from Detroit, northern Michigan. Not as far up as the UP, that's Upper Peninsula, which I've only visited twice in my life. Unlike the southern part of the state, which is a flat farmland, northern Michigan is a dense, wooded topography peppered with small towns. People here don't want to be bothered or hassled. Live and let live. Turned a blind eye lest you get your own plucked out in the process. Derby County is what I would consider on the bigger side of a small town, close to 20,000 population. Looks like it's pretty modern as far as small towns go, measured by the fact that they have a McDonald's, a Taco Bell, a Walmart, a Kentucky Fried, signs of civilization. Not a great civilization, one addicted to mediocrity and ease of living. I drive in and boy, does it look just like it did on Google Earth. There's a small downtown with a string of buildings that lines 2 blocks. Wiki said it was settled in the early 1800s by loggers. A library bookends one end of downtown. Yep, quaint. And a new gym and spa bookends the other. A bank, a health food store. I passed a larger grocery store and a bowling alley on the way in. There's an old-timey 4-screen theater. Down the road is a decent-sized hospital, a bakery that caters to big-boned farmers' wives and hearty Midwestern appetites. Hey, that's what Yelp said, not me. Yelp also told me that there is, and I quote, a truly hipster brewery boasting a meat and vegan menu. I'm not vegan, by the way. I love a thick, medium rare porterhouse, loaded baked potato, and a deep, rich glass of red wine. Little bite of cheesecake for dessert. Stress and late nights don't allow me to tamp down my sweet tooth. I pull up to the house I rented. Seen only from a realtor's website and Google Earth, I'm pretty geeked out about it since I've only ever lived in an apartment in the city. I wanted to be close enough to walk into town. It's a 4-bedroom, and of course I don't need all that room, but it was the only property available this close to Derby, Central, and at half the rent I pay in the city. I'll have to install a few security measures, including an alarm system and video surveillance. I don't mess around. It comes with a nice big yard, maybe half an acre, front porch with a rocker. All I need now is some chewing tobacco and my shotgun, and I should fit in just fine. It's a stereotype, I know, but hey, stereotypes exist for a reason. When I unpack and go out onto the front porch, the first thing that strikes me is that it is so quiet. So quiet. Who knows? Maybe I'll be here long enough to get a dog. I see there's an old rusty grill out back. Fingers crossed it works. I make a mental note to pick up a steak at the store. So quiet. My ears are ringing from the silence. I haven't been in such a quiet, wooded area since college.